It's Saturday, April 10th. And this morning I want to talk about the plea deals that are going on for the defendants of the Capitol riot. It was reported that the Justice Department has given the green light to cut guilty plea deals. Now, this is a step forward toward bringing the hundreds of cases to a close. That's according to attorneys involved in the talks. So I'm thinking, just like you're probably thinking, why? Why are we offering plea deals to hundreds of defendants? And it may not be that we're offering it to all the defendants. It may just be that we're offering it to some of the defendants to get the ball rolling, so to speak. I mean, there's obviously a lot of these cases probably don't have enough good hard evidence to take it to trial. And that would be kind of a waste of everybody's time if we brought all these people to trial and there wasn't enough evidence on video or testimony against a particular person. So it makes perfectly good sense to start offering deals to some of these people. And I am sure in the back of the minds of these federal prosecutors is part of these plea deals will be spill the beans on the other people who are rioting with you. Something like, if you were near the QAnon shaman, tell us what was happening. Tell us what he did. And many others who made headlines. Tell us what they did if you were near them. So this sounds pretty easy, but it isn't. It isn't. Because the Justice Department has to figure out what it's going to offer these people. I don't think it wants to let these people, these rioters, get away without serving some time or public service or something. So what do you offer a guy if you want him to plead guilty and you want to let him go home, but he's got to pay some penalty? There is some skin in his game that he's got to give, right? So that's been a sticking point, I think, at the Justice Department, that they can't figure out what the appropriate penalty should be for somebody who cuts a plea. Do we let him go with 6 months in jail? Do we give him a year of community service? What do we do? I'm not sure they know what to do exactly, and that's what's taking so long to get these plea deals done. A sticking point is who's going to get these deals? What's the cutoff for the damage done? Is the guy running through the Capitol with a spear entitled to a plea deal? Or pushing a cop or squeezing them in the door? I don't think those people are going to get plea deals. I think it's very difficult to sort out the ones who did damage, serious damage. After all, 5 people died in this riot, so somebody's got to pay for that penalty, pay a penalty for that. So I don't know how many plea deals they've decided to give. Out of 350 cases, that's a lot of cases to decide on who gets a plea deal and who doesn't. And maybe, depending upon who has good lawyers, who have the in Washington, so to speak, who get a better deal than somebody who's a penniless guy. I think it's going to come down to which one of these defendants has the money to get a good lawyer to pay the price. It's a very unusual situation. We've never seen this before in this country. And where do you draw the line on what's considered a severe case versus just a minor infraction? If we have footage, TV footage of a guy doing serious damage to the building, is that at the same level of somebody who's doing serious damage to a policeman or another security person? I don't know. I don't know how they're going to figure this out. Now, this is a very unusual case, too. Hundreds of defendants. And there's no formula in place to decide what's okay and what's not okay. So you could have 2 people doing the same damn thing, and one of them will get off and one of them will not. And that may be due to the skills of the attorney or the footage that appears on television is, in one case, is very clear, and in the other case is not so clear. It's a mess, a great big mess. And it may take years to clean this whole thing up. But they got to stop someplace. They have to start someplace. And I guess plea deals is an okay start if they can get enough evidence on the real, what I will call major culprits. Maybe the ones who organized it. Maybe the ones who distributed a map of the tunnels around the Capitol building. Certainly the people that came there with body armor and climbing gear that were ready to attack. Those people should not get a plea deal. I would expect that the plea deal would go to the bystanders who got caught up in the whole thing and just followed them along. But if they can prove that you were one of the instigators, one of the primary people planning this attack, then you should not get a plea deal. And if you did get a plea deal, you better be prepared to rat out everybody. And, I think that people who planned and instigated these deals probably live on the code of ethics that thinks are despicable people. And two of the major groups in this assault on the Capitol were the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys. Those were the gentlemen that were told to stand down, stand back by President Trump. We're not sure if those guys are going to get a plea deal, because those two groups were major planners in this game, and they may not get any sort of plea deal. Right? And then, of course, you have a couple of defendants who were deemed to be violent, so I don't think they're going to get a plea deal either. And this thing is still fresh in everybody's mind, and it's been 100 days almost since the insurrection. I don't know how many of them are still in jail. And there are several violent offenders who are still in jail awaiting court proceedings. So it's going to take a while for this thing to be cleaned up. And I can assure you that no matter what is done, there will always be some who are not satisfied with the decision. And in this case, there may be many who are not satisfied with the decision. So I let you think about that for a while. And think if the Justice Department is doing what's appropriate and not taking the easy way out because it's a mammoth case. But if they wanted to try 350 people, that could take maybe 5 years. Who knows? So maybe giving some deals isn't a bad idea at all. Anyhow, I leave you with that this morning, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.